G'day, Ben from Melbourne here. And yes, unbelievably, there's more new stuff. This covers probably July, August, bit of September, things that were waiting in the mailbox for me from when I got home from my recent trip to Japan. Wonderful time. It was nice and hot in summer, trying to keep the summer vibe going. It is spring here, but I'm waiting for spring to happen. So, without further ado, let's do it. First one up, Orb. I think a lot of people know these dudes because they were on King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards label. A few changes, new drummer. They were a 4-piece for 5 minutes and back to 3. And this is a self-release single called Mind Over Matter. This one's more in like the 60s psych style. Like previously they had a big fat like Sabbathy style riffs. But yeah, this is really, really good. I think they're currently headed your way. I think to the US and Europe. So there's the cover there. Nothing special, just black vinyl with a white label. Next up, I scored a trio of Onyas 7 inches. Great garage punk band from the 90s. Big Macca is known as the lead guitarist for Cosmic Psychos these days. So there we go, London, Paris, Brackenridge. There's the boys on the back there. And that's on the 1-2 Plus label. Not going to bother with pulling that out because it's black. You know what that looks like. Another Onyas one. This one, Live for Rejection. It almost looks like a, what are they called? The Brown Acid style cover, like 20, 30 years before. And then on the back, you have a naked girl riding on a footy. Unfortunately, she fell off there. And what have we got on the inside? Here we go. See, picture of boys in action. The man promoting 4X, the Queensland beer. Looks like nothing good's going on in that picture. And Lance Records, so beautiful stuff. And one more from the Onyas. Pissin' and Peckin' with the Onyas. This is actually a split with a band called the Rockford Files on the back there. Don't know much about the Rockford Files, but the track sounds alright. And then again, there's the inner there. That couple don't look too healthy, but probably no longer with us by the looks of that photo. Now for a few newies. RMFC, which have been one of my favourites over the last few years. One of the really cool punk bands coming out of Melbourne. Of course, it's mastered by Mikey Young, and it's the single Ecstatic Strife on the mighty Anti-Fade Records. There's the back cover there. And there's, what have we got in here? A bit of shit. Some artwork and a bit of wordage. Not bad for a 7-inch. And what I like is the special card it comes with. So I'm now an official member of RMFC. And that'll help me realise my full capacity and potential, I believe. So that's really nice of them. And just got this one. Actually, I snuck this one in. This is the Cheer Squad reissue of the late, great James Baker. The Oh No, it's the James Baker experience. I can't control myself. Just, you know that man. Scientists, be suburban, hoodoo gurus. That's all you need to know. You know it's going to be awesome. got that classic garage rock sound, but you can write a catchy song, and this one's on beautiful purple vinyl. There you go. Love the man, so sad he's no longer with us. There you go. And now one which isn't actually an Australian band, but it is on P Doom, which is the King Giz label. It's one of the cool American punk bands called Memo PST. I guess if you're American, you'd say Memo. This is killer. I got their self-titled record and I think another 7-inch, and they all just rip, man. Like, really cool stuff. Check them out. And this one's on a lovely blue vinyl as well. And last of the 7 inches is the mighty Thug, featuring a very, very young Tex Perkins. I think the artwork will tell you all you need to know about what this sounds like. On the mighty Black Eye label there. There we go. Beautiful stuff. So that's the 7 inches. Now we'll get into a few 12 inches here, starting up with the EP by a new band called Antenna. This has got Shogun, the vocalist, who was in Royal Headache, which were kind of like a soul punk band. This isn't really like that, but this little EP is fucking kick-ass. This photo is a bit creepy, but but yeah, really cool. This is also on a really nice blue vinyl. Next up, a supergroup called Bleak Squad. And this one's on Poison City Records. You might recognise a few faces there if you love the Dirty Three and Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. So you've got Mick Harvey there from the Bad Seeds, and Crime in the City Solution, played on a lot of PJ Harvey records as well. Mick Turner there from the Dirty Three. Of course, Adelita on lead vocals. Got some great solo records herself, but started in the 90s with the awesome Magic Dirt, and then this dude, who I don't know his name, but I think he's from the Art of Fighting. Pretty cool, like, sounds like what you think it's going to sound like with all those people involved. Bit of wordage, some leggage, and really nice. Check this out. Nice marble vinyl, peeps. Peeps, yeah, that's right. I'm calling you peeps. I've gone all hip hop on you. Another newie. This one I was, because I love their previous record, Sharks. This is Shepherd and Airplane with their record Forecast. It's been a little while since the Sharks album, which just absolute banger. Can't believe I haven't done a Shed Burner episode on that. They kind of like they go instrumental and sound all Sonic Youthy, and then they'll just come back with a blistering punkish like vocal track on the next song, which is short and sharp. Really cool stuff. Love this band. Playing around a bit too. Now, what was I looking for? Possibly what label it's on, which isn't apparent from looking at that. Maybe. That's pretty wild. Wordage. Maybe it'll say on this. No, it's just got the front and the back of the bus. Don't know. Can't help you out with the label on this. Yeah. Doesn't actually... Oh! Wing Sing was written in white. That was hard to see. Wing Sing is a label which puts out like Blake Scott and Pete Temple records and that. So there's the sign of quality. Now I think the next batch are all second-hand gems I found. First up, this is a freaking beauty. The Gordons, our mates over in New Zealand here. This is like the band that ended up, well, not morphing, but members of this ended up in Belter Space, which are just a freaking awesome band in their own right. But yeah, this is a pretty tough one to find. Like, this is the actual self-released one. Later on, I think, ended up on Flying Nun. So yeah, if you love your New Zealand stuff, this is probably a bit more harder edge than the other 80s stuff, but just a killingly awesome. Just coined a new phrase. I'm sure it will catch on. Right, let's keep it in New Zealand with an OG from the 1990 compilation by The Bats, called the really clunkily titled Compile-Lee. And this puts together some of their early EPs, which are all fantastic. So there's a picture of them there. By Night, and here is Music for the Fireside and Made Up in Blue, which, if you know, they're all pretty tough to find, and if you do, they're pretty expensive. I was lucky enough to find an OG of that one a while ago, and so there you go, the cool Flying Nun label that we love. What can I say? Fantastic, classic Flying Nun band, The Bats. And another one which was self-released at the time, and that's the mighty Feed Time. These dudes are probably lobbying with like the mid-period of the Scientists and stuff like that thick, swampy, bit more full-on, I suppose, grungy stuff going on, which was like a big part of the Australian underground scene in the 80s. There's been said there's a big influence, especially the Scientists, on what become grunge, especially the bands like Mudhoney and Tad and that kind of thing. 1985, great record, just on the black vinyl there. There's the Feed Time Frog, which you may have seen a box set called The Aberrant Years, and it's green and got that frog on the front, which has all of their records, I think bar one, and that's fantastic if you can track that down. There's the little stamp, which was on all of the original ones, so pretty happy to have that. It's their first record, I think. It's been 5 minutes since I've mentioned the Saints, so 12-inch of the Saints, This Perfect Day, limited 12-inch pressing, it says. And the little note on here says, important notice, due to an administrative error, this limited 12-inch pressing of the Saints' This Perfect Day, Back with Lies single, contains a third additional title not available on the normal 7-inch pressing. So you got to get it. The additional title, Do the Robot, has consequently been withdrawn from future releases from future release consideration, and will now be available only on this 12-inch pressing. Well, that's a bit special, isn't it? Of course, what a song. This Perfect Day. There you go, just on the Harvest label. Imagine if that was on the I'm Stranded record as well. I don't know if my brain could have taken that. Maybe it was a smart move to include it on Eternally Yours so I could just take a breather. So happy to have that. Next, the New Zealand hits keep on coming with the mighty Stones, the very cheekily named Stones. Is an awesome EP, another disc, another $1. If you love that New Zealand sound, you're going to love this. Cool, kind of jangly, quirky, indie pop, bit more rockin' than pop. Probably best known for being on the famous Dunedin double EP, which Flying Nun was one of the first things they put out, which also had the Chills, the Verlaines, Sneaky Feelings, and of course the Stones. So yeah, it's pretty happy to find this. You don't see this shit very often. And this has got an unusual Flying Nun label on it. So it says Flying Nun in the corner there. So not like their regular looking label. I'm sure someone will be able to tell me a story about that. And let's keep it with New Zealand and the aforementioned Chills with the 12-inch of House with 100 Rooms. Fantastic stuff. yeah, love this little EP. There's Martin on the back. Sadly, also passed away. Been a few pass away in this video. Well, not during this video, but you know what I mean. So there's the cool label there. Just magnificent band. Just you know, I think I say about every one of the bands from this era of Flying Nun is the best band from New Zealand. And that sort of says something, that just the quality was just insanely high of the stuff coming out of there. And one more Chills one with one of my favourite Chills tracks, the 12-inch of I Love My Leather Jacket. And that's like, it's backed with The Great Escape, which is another cracker. How cool is that artwork too? There we are on the back. I think I Love My Leather Jacket is about when the Chills, the first formation, the drummer passed away from cancer at a very young age, and he was always known for having a leather jacket, and that was a jacket that was passed on to Martin Phillips. So I believe that's what that song is about, why he loves his leather jacket. Really cool stuff. Can I put this back in without taking up more of your precious time? Now, this one completes the double. So I got the compilation on Black Eye Records a while back called Leather Donut, not for the faint-hearted. It's wild, crazy shit. And this is the companion release, I suppose you'd call it, called Waist Sausage. Whole lot of wrongness going on in that picture there. If you think that's wrong, check the back cover. The strategically placed Made in Australia. Stick it there. I know we all love to get our kit off when we play a bit of pool, don't you? And so this has just got wild shit by the likes of Box the Jesuit, Lubricated Goat, few bands which are young Tex Perkins featured in, like the aforementioned Thug, Bush Oysters as well, and one which is a word we can't really say anymore, which if you pause the back cover you'll see what I mean. And so there's the usual suspects on the back there, and really difficult to read wordage because it goes in all directions. And of course the great Black Eye label, and that's the other side. But yeah, very happy to have that. It's not for everyone, I understand, but I like that wild shit. And now this one is a I can't remember where I found out about this. I'd never heard of them. Australian like electronic duo. Yes, no guitars, sorry, classic rockers. Called Rainbow Generator is the band, and Dance of the Spheres. Bit of a wanky title and not a great cover, but this is really cool. Like really weirded out, cool electronic stuff, and it's got some didgeridoo on it, which if you know the sound of the didgeridoo, it's like a really low register sound, which and it's sort of a droney instrument, so it works really well with all the electronic stuff going on. There's the inner there. Judging from that, no drugs were consumed at all during the making of this record. Some information in there, and then there's the trippy label. Imagine that spinning around your record while you're off your face. Last one, another 12-inch. This big sound is for you, Vinyl Richie, because I know you love that. A little bit more. 12-inch. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Tupelo. Only ever seen this on a 7-inch, which I think is the mute version, and this must be the American one because it's Homestead Records, which I think is like a 80s and 90s indie label. But one of my favorite eras of Nick Cave is like that early, like first 3 records are just unbelievable. This is backed with his cover of In the Ghetto. Yes, that song. The Moon is in the Gutter and the 6 Strings that Drew Blood. This is awesome. This lineup has Blixa Bargeld, Mick Harvey, and the great Barry Adamson on it. So just, I think it's just, yeah, black vinyl with the blue Homestead labels. And that's that. So I'm thinking of, I really like the idea of next video or whatever, gonna do a the last 25 years of best of the last 25 years releases. I saw a couple of people do them. I'm gonna Australianize that, of course. And then Vinyl Richie, that is, his take on that was the best punk records of the last 5 years. So I'm gonna do that too. I think I'll like whittle it down to like 5 of 5 years and 25 records from the last 25 years. So for the sake of brevity as well. And yeah, if you want to see interviewing the VC again, get in contact with me. I've got none of those videos lined up or any guests. So if you want to be involved, contact me in the comments and we'll work that shit out. Sam St. John, we've got to do that Jingle Jangle video that you spoke of when we were conversing on the WhatsApp. And Harris and Jack, you know what I'm talking about. See you in the next one.